Are we live?
Yeah.
We're live? We're live? Mm-hmm. Hey, Spirit Realm Network family. Live here on... She's throwing me all off. I can't look at her. Spirit Realm Network family, we are Riverside, Iowa Paranormal. Welcome to Into the Dark. Live here at the Farrar School. Ran into some friends up here. My name is Mr. Bill.
I'm Michelle.
I'm Dustin.
I'm John.
I'm Benji.
And they're best known as...
Moth.
We'll get into that in just a minute. Before we get started here, we want to send a special shout out to all the troops, all the men and women serving all over the world, the United States Armed Forces, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, Coast Guard, National Guard, Reserves. We don't care what you're serving in. Thank you very much for all your service and everything you do each and every day to keep us safe and allow us to do what we do and have fun doing it also at the same time and be safe. And also thank you to the family members that are left behind, the mothers, the daughters, the sons, the moms, dads, grandmas, grandpas, husbands, uncles and aunts, everybody. Sometimes they get it worse than the soldiers do. Thank you for keeping the home fires burning, and thank you very much for doing everything you do.
And I know, but we're trying to, share. We always ask everybody to share the Spirit Realm Networks and just kind of share our live, and that's what we're doing here. But what we do want to do is give a big shout out to the first responders, police officers, firefighters, all the ones that also go out at night and families standing behind and hoping they're coming home. We also want to give a major shout out to everybody out there in Facebook land, especially all our sponsors that are out there, everybody that follows us all the time. I'm sending my love.
Facebook family, remember this is much your show as it is our show. Give us your comments. I know that we're live. Are we live on the Spirit Realm Network?
Yes.
We're live on the Spirit Realm Network. We're trying to be live right now on Riverside, Iowa.
We are. Just share.
Share. So thank you guys for sharing everything. Send us your questions and your comments. We have people behind the scenes that are going to yell out those comments and questions to us. But I think we should just get into it. The first thing that we need to do is our Facebook family. Our sponsor is the McIntyre Villa in Atchison, Kansas. You guys been there?
No, we haven't.
Oh my God, you need to go. That's an awesome place to go.
We all need to go together.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Road
trip. So our sponsor.
Warm and beds and indoor
You said
plumbing.
warm?
And beds in the winter.
And indoor plumbing.
Indoor plumbing.
More than one.
I'm
All right,
out.
let's
Say it stays. A few weeks ago, the McIntyre Villa caught on camera. There was a lady who decided to help herself to some pictures and some other items that were there during an open investigation. Not realizing there's cameras all over there that the owners have up there, and they caught her live on camera. Posted them on Facebook, and we put them out. Everyone on Facebook shared them, and now let's give you an outcome. If you haven't heard it yet, all the items have been returned. So thank you very much for everyone that helped us out on that and helped Jeff and Stephanie, I almost said Steph and Jeffany again, helped Jeff and Stephanie out by getting those items replaced.
I think
Remember,
backwards again.
Jeff and Stephanie? Steph and Jeffany?
Something like that, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's been a long day for everyone.
So thank you guys very much for all your help out there on that.
And all the paranormal teams that actually came together, we bounced off everybody's pages. They bounced off ours. We also found out they were in the Iowa area at times too, and have done it at other events.
Huh.
So we talk about para-unity, like we call our different teams for help. That was the first time I've actually seen it in action that way.
Good.
It was amazing, and we want to thank everyone. Para-unity is out there, I'm telling you.
It works. So.
Whether you guys like it or not, it is.
We
there
do.
sometimes.
We fully support para-unity.
They do, because I have called on them.
So let's say you called on them. How did you guys get started? How did your group come together? John?
Originally, myself and Jamie Nessa, which isn't here today.
Jamie.
Hi, Jamie.
Hi, Jamie.
Hi, Jamie. We were running with another team. We just had a bad fallout with that team. We brought on one other guy, and 5 o'clock in the morning, he's just like, here, Ministers of the Haunted, it'll be MOTH. And I'm like, sure, that sticks well enough. And then our quote is, what is our quote? Yeah.
Like a moth, we're drawn to the flame.
So that randomly popped up in my head at work, and so far we've been running ever since.
That's awesome. So what are you guys? What areas do you guys cover?
Everywhere.
Everywhere. As a investigation team, basically we cover everywhere in Iowa. We'll go anywhere. We haven't had too many calls. We're in Forest City, Iowa, so we're like 5 minutes away from Minnesota. But we haven't crossed over to Minnesota yet.
It's a scary crossover.
It is.
Oh, but now that I know exactly where you are, you
Yeah.
might be crossing
We,
over. Crossing over the border to Minnesota.
Not-
Yeah,
crossing
not the
over.
other kind.
Don't go towards the light.
Be careful.
Even if it's a moth, don't go towards
be
the
careful.
light.
Crossing over is a copyrighted term. You gotta be careful.
Oh, okay, we're not.
Taco
we're not
Tuesday.
over.
Oh.
We're just gonna drive over.
We don't need that medium on us.
So, in kind of on that note too. So, I know that in our group we've got each individual person has their kind of their specialty. I know
Yep.
I do probably 80 to 90% of the tech stuff. Michelle scares the hell out of me. We got we have a crazy group. So
Right.
what do you guys do? What's kind of each one of your specialties?
Well, between me and Benji, we're like 50-50 the tech guys. We're always trying to tinker with new ways to capture, to do anything to show our evidence. John and Jamie are more of our intuitives. They can see more than what we can see with our own senses. I'll let those two.
Yeah, I'm more of the psycho of the group. You could say. I'm the one that lets things overtake me. I let them show what they want to be shown. If they need help being moved on, I help them move on.
And well, like Dustin said, I am the other half of the tech side of things. Between me and Dustin, we're always building stuff, trying to modify things.
I'm usually the one that
Jamie's
says,
another
"Hey,
one.
let's do this," and I go, "How do we do it?" He
Yep.
does.
Pretty much. And on the flip side of what he does, I completely close myself off. I don't allow, I have no sense whatsoever as far as that goes. I'm completely closed down, and I am the extremely analytical person
Gordon, we're
going
at the
through
Farrar School in
checking
Maxwell,
for
Iowa.
cracked windows and
What's up, Gordon? I heard your name. So you're
doors hanging.
you're debunking everything. You're walking through and making
Trying to.
That's
And
amen to that.
And
Jamie is also ITC. He does a lot of ghost box sessions.
Okay.
So he's more of speaker, where like if I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, Jamie's normally my right hand man.
Cool.
Because he always knows if something gets too out of hand, how to pull me back to this side of the realm.
So how long have you guys been together?
What's your tattoo say?
4 years?
Your tattoo says 4 years. You
Well,
update it every
he's
year.
gonna take-
5 ouch.
He's got the MOTH tattoo on his ribcage. And it's got
With the
date on it.
established date underneath.
Oh, cool.
I think it's like 2014, 2015,
2015.
somewhere in there.
If you want him to model it, stick around. We can do that later.
No.
It started with John and Jamie and one other guy first,
Yep.
and then Dustin came
Came on,
along.
and then the other guy just got burnt out, which happens in this
Yep.
field. He's still family. If he's watching, hi.
Hi, Derek.
Hi, you're
What's up, Derek?
Then we brought Benji on, and then it's been the 4 of us since. We like to keep it at a small 4-man team, just because if you get too large, you end up with contaminating your own evidence. And that's
Yeah,
just the way we like to keep it.
We do call on other mediums and stuff if we need to actually work with somebody, or if I have a question about something, I can go, hey, what are you picking up on this?
What you got, Heather?
We got a question from Catherine Fisher. Can a group of psychics be ghost hunters successfully?
Can a group of psychics be ghost hunters successfully?
Stop it. Anyways, here's how I feel about this. Everybody sees things in different ways. So it can be a success if you're trusted with those psychics. You know, if you just have 3 random and what I call, you know, one wants to be better than the other. I like bouncing off of some because the way I see things is not the way anybody else sees them.
Right.
And so when I see it, you know, I normally have Jake going, yeah, it's not the way I'm seeing it, but, and then he'll say, do you see it? And then it kind of validates that you're in that right direction. I have worked with other psychics too that have done it. I have also worked with other people who are psychics that have, I know it sounds mean, but showboating. is what I call it.
You guys have probably seen that too.
It happens.
And actually, Michelle and I have actually worked together.
Yes.
So.
Whoa, time out. What the
Hey,
heck?
hey.
You cheating on us? What's going on? When?
Actually, I have called on him too, because there are times I've heard or have seen something, but I wasn't sure. And, you know, there are mixed signals.
I'm
And
feeling cheated on here.
yeah, but it works.
Well,
Come on over.
I'll get to you later.
Say, you're
But
gonna
it
want to get in
does.
this mind.
And I don't mind working that way. I would rather work that
Yeah.
way.
And to your point, we do. I mean, John is a medium of some degree. I don't want to give him too much credit.
I'm mean.
But
He's
we
more of a
do have a group of mediums that we reach out to in instances where it's too much for us. We don't know exactly what's going on. We'll reach out directly to them, and they'll either throw some protection on us and do other things that psychics do.
When I was going through some family stuff, our medium at 2:30 in the morning scared the literal crap out of me. And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, by the way." I'm like, would have been nice for a little heads up beforehand.
You should learn that.
He needs to learn that too.
But it
Catherine
happens.
loves that answer, by the way.
Thank you.
But yeah, mediums and psychics can work almost side by side. I mean, you've got to trust your people. That's why a lot of them work individually and will reach out to other people, just because if they're getting a bad vibe on something doesn't mean somebody else isn't going to get a bad vibe on it.
So you said the key words are work individually. We have kind of a rule in our group that no one goes to a location alone.
We have a similar rule.
Yep.
So I'm glad. It's nice to hear.
As a 4-man team, we kind of keep it as if 3 people can't go, if 3 people aren't going, nobody's going. It's got to be a group
It's
of
the
3.
rule.
That is real good.
And a lot of the times too is if we're going to a new location, they'll be outside and I'll walk the building by myself.
But they're still there.
But they're
Yeah,
still
yeah.
right outside
Yeah.
the door, so that way just in case if stuff gets out of hand, I can call them in a heartbeat and be like, "Hey, you need to get in here with some sort of equipment. This is what I'm picking up
Bring
on."
me my book.
And we've had validation of stuff like that with some of our cases.
Nice.
That's awesome. I love to hear the fact that you guys do that, because we've heard of so many people, going into a building. I'm going to investigate, and then they find their body 6 days later because they fell down an elevator shaft or something,
Yep.
and they were investigating.
Oh, I said, and stairs.
Oh yeah, the stairs. And these ones out here hurt, by the way.
So does the little boot warmer too.
Yes. it
You
does.
got to ask Will about that at some point.
So, I know you guys work with residentials and stuff. If you were able to choose between helping residentials clients that are in need or doing something like the Farrar School, what do you guys?
I think as a team, I can answer. We would rather help people.
Yeah. More residentials.
We enjoy coming to places like Farrar, Malvern, yada yada yada. But we want to help people.
Do you feel that coming to like a place like Farrar, knowing that you're doing residentials and homes, you come to Farrar, you can kind of open up a little bit more and kind of hone some skills?
Yes.
And use this for almost a testing ground?
Yep.
To say, okay, we tried this and we tried this, now let's try it in a home. You guys ever
Yep.
do that?
Yes, this is definitely Farrar.
This is like a second home for
Yeah.
all of us here. I mean, we've been here.
We've been here more
countless
times than most teams. Will would call us the second caretakers of the group, probably.
Which he has.
Yeah.
He has.
But yeah, we'll come here and we'll test out theories of our own. There's one I want to test out at some point, but we have to get to that. But yeah, this is a proving ground for stuff we do in homes.
I have multiple theories.
A lot of times too, like when we do events like this, I open myself up more. But being what I do, I don't really like picking up on people, just because you pick up a lot of emotional baggage.
Yes.
I'm
So
gonna give you an amen.
coming here, I can open myself up and just go explore and, put these theories to test and, sometimes even shock myself at some of the things I can
What are you
do.
looking at me for?
Theories to test.
Hey, it worked sort
That's
of.
why I
It
cheated.
sort of worked upstairs, okay?
I gotta say, the Gansfeld theory, best thing you could ever do.
We do that, and we did it at the McIntyre too, which, so doing what I see and do, I do not like to have my senses taken away, because that's the only thing I feel protects me. And I did it for the first time. Holy cow, it was like a bad acid trip.
That's
I'm
exactly
just
what
gonna
you
tell
call it.
you.
Yeah, that's what I tell people.
It is, because all my senses were taken, and I plus they put me in a room with a doll.
She loves dolls.
I've got one for you.
Oh,
There's
right.
one down the hall.
But it was an experiment, but we actually had the owners join in too and things like that. We had those two do it. And
We have some people off camera, by the way.
Hi, out camera people.
And so, I mean, we did it here at the last study hall, and we did it down in the boiler room. And you had the cameras up here, so people up here could actually watch it, because we didn't want, people walking around or
Contamination.
anything. And it turned out to be an amazing session.
Have you guys
too.
tried it in the boiler room yet?
No.
No, but talking about the Gansville, the first time Jamie and I ever did it, we were doing it at a residential. And we were actually picking up, there was a soldier there that was killed by small arms fire. And he's running an obulus sitting there, and this is the stuff that he's getting on that, not telling me a single thing. And I'm walking him through everything to find out that soldier was buried right around the corner of the cemetery from this house.
It enhances what we
Yeah.
do, and I never knew it. I mean, I was terrified. I mean, I was actually shaking because I was doing things that I didn't realize. I was like reaching for stuff and doing things. It was like I was right there, and it took it to the next level. I mean,
Have
my
you ever-
adrenaline was pumping.
Have you ever tried a multiple Gunsful experiment at one time? So
That
we
was
only
wild.
we did three people in the boiler room
At the same time?
at the same time.
It was crazy.
One in the coal chute, one in the back tank room, and one person sitting out in the main room.
Wow.
We normally go solo just for the simple fact of if it does get too far out of hand, we have those people there to pull us back out.
So here's
Just to
the-
make
here's
We
the-
did it with the people that we actually did it here, and we did like a little drawing, and
Yeah, and
they drew the
the people
names.
that like came from the study hall, we drew their names
We
out.
had them
Oh,
do
you had,
it.
okay.
And to watch it actually happen with the energies of those three people and what they were pulling out, it was crazy.
We've tried this at one, we tried it here with another person that we came with here. We did a split Gunsful experiment. One person on the stage upstairs, with one person watching them, and one person in the coal chute down in the boiler room, and recorded it. And they were almost answering each other's, what they were saying.
Oh, that's.
Something to
Well,
try.
well,
What's
well,
that?
Well,
We have to order
and
another pair of
here's the thing,
glasses.
we're talking about these experiments, and if you've noticed, we're all talking about how we do it here. So if you've never been here to the Farrar School, again, this is like the McIntyre Villa. I call it the little diamond in the rough. People don't think about the activity that's here. And when you can be separated in a schoolhouse like this and get the same type of stuff and be able to answer, I mean, it's indoor plumbing. That's all I gotta say. I know all my paranormal peeps will understand my pain, okay?
Is it time for a cheap plug?
Yeah.
Bonnie at Farrar.com.
Yes, definitely. And they do study
How
halls
much
here.
did you get for that one?
Nothing. It's a
That was
plug.
cheap.
That was a cheap plug, but I'm gonna tell you, they do a lot of study halls here, and they also do a big Halloween bash
Yep.
here,
That's
right?
going on.
Last Saturday of
Yeah.
October.
Last Saturday of October.
I mean, everybody that runs these study halls, they're so much fun. I mean, I did the first one this year, never been to one, and I did one with Will and Jacqueline, and I had a blast.
Oh, it was fun.
I didn't think how much fun it would be. I mean, I
It was
think I had
so
more
fun.
fun than the people who came, because I used them as my
It hurt.
Your guinea pigs.
pigs.
Yep.
It's fun.
It was
And
fun.
pe- and people,
try this.
people who've
Yeah,
done here are
I'm
more-
here to help you.
Hey, but real quick, if you come to one of these study halls,
Yeah.
we have, and I know you guys have seen it, there comes a time in the evening where we kind of like going, go on your own, do things.
Really,
When we
go on
kind
your
of
own.
say, go on your own,
Go!
go!
We're
How many times have you guys sat there and like you're going, okay, we're just going to look at this and talk to somebody because somebody had a question about a piece of equipment or something they wanted to talk, and all of a sudden you look up and half the room is still sitting there staring at you going, we don't know what to do. It's, get up and go.
Get out there and go.
When it's free roam, go.
If you
Just
see
me.
any of the co-hosts and they're just follow them. Just follow us. We're not gonna be upset you're behind us. Just come with us.
Or a lot of the times you'll see us roaming the halls and we're just checking in on everybody to make sure that they're actually having a safe experience.
Yes.
That's the key. You got to be safe in the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
We want to have fun. We want to do what we can do to get, experience for people. A real experience, not a fake one. We've actually been to a few locations where, we like to show up hours and hours early, go through, especially if we've never been there before. I'm not going to say the name of the location. We'll tell you off camera.
We'll put it in the comments later.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
No, we won't. Went through there and they had it set up to where someone went in the closet and pulled on a piece of fishing line and opened the door. Or would move something. And I went through with a knife and just started cutting fishing line. Like, okay, you want to do this? You spent hours setting this up. I'm taking it down. So.
Well, you also found mini cameras down there too.
Oh, yeah.
But again, we want everyone to experience it.
Yes.
But I noticed, and if you're coming tonight, and there are still some tickets available tonight,
Yes.
right?
Oh, yeah.
You can
So you
be
guys can-
$45 at the door.
$45, it's worth it. You guys are going to be doing this till what time?
4 a.m.
o'clock in the morning.
So, and,
Whenever we drop.
all right.
Or that.
Come and
Yep.
enjoy. I mean, because I know when we came, just having the fun, we had a great group. The energy was so high that, we had things going. I know that we had some other groups here with us too.
Sign up and bring a
I
full
actually
group.
enjoyed myself because I was scaring them. And that's a win for me. You got a question?
It's actually a comment from Nicole Goins. She says, "Nope, John will be sleeping."
Yep.
Probably around midnight or so.
That is John's wife.
Yes,
everybody.
that's my wife.
Okay. Hi, John's wife.
Hi, John's wife. Is there anything we can do to help keep John awake?
No, there's nothing you can do.
No.
We have a shot collar out in the car with a
Can I be in control of the button?
I was going to give it to his wife from there because she can work it over the phone and wake up.
No, that's not as much fun.
Okay.
Yes, Gordon, there is.
What? Gordon said what?
He's asking any dolls in the school, and I said yes, there is.
Yes, there is.
There are dolls, but they're
Okay.
not the haunted
Let me
dolls
tell you a
people.
creepy story. So we were here for the event. This lady was here, and she was carrying this really creepy doll in her backpack all night long. And she kept coming next to me with this doll, and I'm like, you need to get away.
Michelle loves dolls.
Dolls and me do not get along because the souls in them are not right. But anyways, that's a different story. All of a sudden, we're cleaning up, and she comes by and wants to talk, and I'm telling her thank you, so on and so on and so on. And then all of a sudden, she just drops the doll, and she runs, and she leaves. Doll has to stay here. My mom said so. She don't want me to bring it back, and boom, gone. And this doll, I could swear, was just, I'm like, oh, hell no, you're not coming home with me. And guess what? She's upstairs. I walked by some lockers, and I seen this thing look down at me. I will say, I peed myself.
If you didn't hear that, she peed herself.
Always,
That's brother.
number one rule, Paranormal 101, females wear panty liners because there are the tinkle times. A 100-year-old client made sure she told us that because things like that do happen. Just telling you. As we
Wow.
move on.
I'm sitting here looking at you guys, and I feel like you two are related.
Thank
Like
you.
he's your dad.
Wait, these two. Wait, what?
You too.
Son! Wait, where are you from?
Mason City area?
Maybe. Hey! Oh, wait, we'll make it a little easier. I do that because of the glare on the camera.
Oops.
We do
And
need
door time.
No, we do need to give a shout out to our sponsor. And starting next weekend when we have the wonderful Rev on the show, which we need to behave, not really.
Why?
No, he's
He
good.
pushes the envelope. I've listened to his show.
Yes, we actually will have a new sponsor. Thank you. But our sponsor right now is the McIntyre Villa in Atchison, Kansas. Now, if you've never been there, Riverside, Iowa Paranormal, our Kansas City team, will be hosting an event there. And what date, girls?
November 22nd.
November 22nd.
And
December
there's
13th.
December 13th.
And December 13th. You're letting him do two? Okay.
Yeah, I know. It is what it is. But anyways, if you haven't had a chance to go there, we do need to hook up. I would love to
Yeah.
take you there.
So here's the thing about the McIntyre. Number one,
It's
we
a
have
mansion.
a lot of people that come out and say, we should only be doing this in broken down old buildings with walls falling in and asbestos everywhere and ceiling tiles broken down and holes in the floor. It's not that. The McIntyre Villa, if you could picture an old 1890s mansion, it's exactly what it is.
Oh, we got one of those in Forest City.
And they have actually, when the current owners got it, oh, I cringe every time I say this. The previous owners in the 70s had put that orange and green thick shag carpet
It was like the
everywhere.
Brady Bunch?
It was over the banisters.
So it's a beautiful house.
Oh, they have restored the house back, brought in old furniture, which you can sit on. They've got the plumbing working, which you can use.
I
Shower
hear
too.
there's beds.
There's beds you can sleep on. I mean, it's not one of those, you go in and it's a museum piece and you can't touch it and you can't do anything there. You can do things there, just don't steal anything. That's the big thing. And
But it has so much activity. We did some things over there
I
that
wanna
we're
see
still
him-
having to.
I want to see him sleep in the casket.
Done. I'll do it.
Yeah, this is an antique casket.
So remember back
It smells like you can
back
smell
in
moth
the
balls.
Perfect.
back in the way back, they used to, when we still do them, you have a wake.
Yep.
Well, families actually couldn't afford caskets, so they had a family wake box. The owner got his family's wake box, and it's now in the house.
It's normal.
I slept in worse.
But again, this is one of those places, just like Farrar, that you don't think anything of it, and you go there and you're starting to get so much evidence that you don't even know where to stop. You're like, is this even happening? You know, I mean, it's got a creepy basement. The attic is wild, and then the in-betweens, and then you
Yeah, they got a doll room.
They got a
That's
doll
it's a
room.
children's room, but it has these dolls.
So you
and
roll
she's
your
got
eyes
this-
when she said doll room.
Yeah, it's got this one doll that's really, really creepy.
The one doll that she has in there actually is made with human child's hair.
We've done a place that
Had one.
has a human child
And
hair.
I guess, let me rephrase it, it's not a doll, it's a marionette.
Oh,
This is an actual doll, and they put it in a glass
sock. Like
box.
Yeah.
Because I guess the town would go through, and when people would get their haircuts, they'd just donate their hair, and
Make dolls.
they would
McDonald's.
make dolls out of it.
We should do that.
Yeah.
We'll store them at your house.
I have a problem with that. I don't have any here.
So,
Beards for babies.
Yeah!
But we do want to thank the McIntyre Villa
Yes,
for
thank
being
you,
our
Rose.
sponsor,
Same
and
place.
we love you guys.
Yeah, take a look, the McIntyre Villa, I'm not gonna say the name of the Facebook, their
Hi,
Facebook
Todd.
site because I messed it up. What?
Oh, I was saying,
Oh.
hi Todd.
What's up,
Hi,
Todd?
Todd.
Hi, Todd. I don't know who you are, but hi, Todd.
Is it Todd?
Todd.
It's Todd.
Todd. Todd's last name is Todd?
It is now.
Todd.
No, his middle name's Todd.
So Todd. Triple T.
Should we do a-
Hi, Triple T.
Should we do a shout out to our team?
Yes.
You know?
Do it.
Which team?
Go.
Look us up. We're on Facebook, Ministers of the Haunted.
Yes.
We're online too, ministersofthehaunted.com.
Email ministersofthehaunted@gmail.com. If you catch the drift, everything's Ministers of the Haunted at something or another.
Is that a new site? That's something or other?
It will be.
And if you
We'll get
guys,
his name right
if
on that
anybody's
one.
out there and you are needing help and you forgot how to get a hold of them, but you're needing them in your area, you can always get a hold of us. We will get you in touch with them, especially with them being closer to that area. We would pass it on, so.
Minnesota friends, look us up.
Look us up.
We'll send them over or look them up.
Yes.
And if you can't remember us and you're their friends and you need help down here, talk to them. They'll send you to us.
Yeah.
We like working together.
If we just don't show up together.
There you go.
We do have a few teams that we work side by side with on some of the bigger investigations.
Yeah. And you can give them a shout out too. We're okay.
CNH
What?
Paranormal, IPIS. There are one of our two teams that
We call
So
them our
basically our
family.
sister team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, talking about the things you guys have done, what's this? I hate using the word scariest. What's the one? I mean, if it's a private, you don't need to give the name and
Right.
stuff. What's the one location that bothered you the most?
You got that answer for before the two of us were here.
We did a house in Missouri.
What?
Missouri, Iowa.
Okay.
And the lady called us up and she's like, okay, you know, I'm having stuff going on. She's like, I'm getting stuff thrown at me. I'm seeing shadows. I've got all this going on. I need somebody to come in. We show up at her house, walk in. She has a 9mm Glock sitting on her table. She's like, I am going to shoot these SOBs.
Spirits.
I'm like,
Shooting spirits, nobody else.
I'm like, all you're gonna do is just put holes through the walls right now.
I was gonna ask a question, but I'm glad you clarified that.
I was too, I was like,
So Jamie and I are running our investigation, and I mean, the energy that was in this house felt like there was 300-400 people crammed into a 3-bedroom house.
oh wow.
And it was 2-story, so you just had a basement, the first floor. The weird thing about the basement was there was a fully remodeled basement. You went through a wooden door, you hit a dirt floor tile basement that had a chair and 4 posts around it. That was it. So mind you, throughout the night, Jamie and I are running, we're doing our normal investigation. This was before anybody else was with us. And as we're running throughout the night, she gets pushed. We're hearing audible footsteps running up and down the stairs in the basement. I get the crap scared out of me. I go to the bathroom and I'm walking out of the bathroom. The entity that was in the house broke her shower door, pushed it off of its hinges. There was a point in time where Jamie and I looked at each other and said, we need to just go outside. We're like, we need to go clear our head. Took us 3 blessings and removing the chair from the dirt floor room before the house completely
I
subsided.
wonder what happened in that chair, in that room.
You sat in the chair, you got pissed off, you got angry, you started getting heat flashes. I mean,
What did you do with the chair?
we actually put it on a church.
Dropped it off in the middle of the night at a church.
Yep.
Free donation. Eh.
But the weird thing about it was the day that we actually moved the chair, it was a completely calm day. I mean, no wind, no nothing. As we get the chair outside and we just turn the corner, 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts are trying to blow us back to the house, to put it back inside the house.
Wow.
And have you talked to the client since then?
We
Are they
actually
okay?
blessed her new house,
Oh, wow.
Nice.
and she has yet to have a single issue.
Wow.
That's
There's-
awesome.
That's awesome.
That's where it goes back and I'm thinking, okay, what's the story of the chair? What's the story in the room?
Right.
What happened? What's going on?
One of the weird things was we picked up that there was a djinn that was actually in our house. So, Quran magic. And when you're dealing with them, they get really, really grumpy. And they call on their little minions.
Can someone go tell them next? Because that's going to pick this up.
So, dealing with the cases that we deal with, we do a lot more of the darker cases. So the ones where you're getting stuff thrown at you, you're getting scratched, you're getting pushed, you're getting hit, you're getting bit, stuff's breaking. That's when people call on us.
Mm-hmm. Kind of what happened with us.
Yeah, much like you guys, talking to you off camera, when other teams get to the point where they don't know what to do, they call upon us.
Mm-hmm.
And we reach out to whoever we need to when it happens to us.
So now I'm going to talk to the tech guys.
Yo,
And you can feel free to jump in. What's your least favorite piece of equipment? And what's your most favorite piece of equipment?
I have not found a piece of equipment I don't like yet. I think they all could use some improvement. But really my favorite is probably the REM pod. It's easiest to get yes or no responses out of, in my opinion. I do like the spirit box too.
I'm not a big fan of the whole cell phone ITC thing, but Jamie does that. That's his deal. But I'd say my favorite piece of equipment to use, and it's because I'm still trying to figure it out, you know, what its quirks are and everything like that, is a few years ago I purchased the Bill Chappell XCAM SLS.
Okay.
And through here, I've actually been able to figure out a lot of its quirks, a lot of its false positives, but there are several experiments that I still want to run with it, because using that device alongside of like an eddy or even just a Mel meter or other EMF detector, I have been able to pick up and get multiple redundancies on things that are actually going on when these devices are being picked up.
And if you don't really, you're talking the SLS cam.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The one, and that's the one that does the stick figure. And I'm kind of in the same boat of that one. I like it until somebody walks into a wall with it. Here,
But
but
you missed the wall.
we'll explain that one later, 'cause it's too funny to tell them. But I like it.
Hey, Ethan.
But Ethan!
Hey,
What's up, buddy?
I don't know who you're hiding.
He's one of our top fans.
Top fan.
Junior paranormal team member.
So, but you have to, in my book, I've got to see the room before we try it, because I'm going to know right away, there's a chair, it's going to pick up a false there. There's a bar down the wall. More than likely that's going to get picked
There's
up.
a reflective surface right
There's a
here.
reflective,
It's
you're going to
gonna
get
be-
yourself in there.
There is one spot here in the boiler room, excuse me, in the tank room, where you aim it 100% of the
I know
time. You
exactly
will
what it's
always
like.
get the same exact stick figure 100% of the time.
I started pulling away from the SLS camera until the auditorium the gymnasium downstairs. There was nothing in the middle. And we were doing something, I sat it down, and that was last study hall.
Yes.
There was nothing in the middle of that room. And one of the ladies was staring at the screen and she went, "Who's that?" And you look out, there's no one there, and a figure walked across. And I went, "Oh, hey." I was really to the point of going, I'm seeing too many false on here. And that one kind of drew me back in going, all right, we're going to keep doing this again.
Do you have yours with tonight?
No.
Ah.
No.
There's an experiment that I specifically want to run that I'd like to talk to you about later.
Okay.
Running them side by side.
I need 3 of them to do what I want to do.
I really
Then we really need to talk.
don't have a least favorite piece of equipment because normally I'm using myself. But my top
you.
piece of equipment is I use a pendulum. I walk with a pendulum anywhere.
Says the untech guy. See?
But that's it. But if you think about it, you look back over the way the history has been, over how far it's come and how much people have gone to the digital age of life. Look back at how the old, the Warrens, everyone else that has done it and used pretty much nothing technical, the pendulum, crystal, on more or less a chain or a string, and how much they got. I really think going back to the old school, we use a lot of powders, putting it across doorways and stuff. We have a specific powder. She's already grinning, and I'm just going to tell a story because you guys probably haven't heard it yet.
What did she do?
Well, let me tell you. We were getting ready to do a private investigation, and we thought we're going to go a little old school on this one. Let's grab some stuff, the pendulum, the rods, just try out, see what we could do. Michelle, go grab some powder. Okay. She grabbed the powder, we went to the location, she pulls it up, and it's Summer's Eve douche powder. Hey, but it was,
wait a
it's got a,
minute.
what was the smell?
It's my favorite badge powder, Cool Breeze, because I figured if you can't see what went across, you'll be able to tell if something went because you can smell it.
Smell it down the hall. Yeah.
So I do
Welcome
not
to our life.
I do not leave home without the badge powder when we go on an event.
You should plug it one more time to see if you
The-
get free.
Badge powder definitely works, and I'm going to tell you, because of the different smells, you can tell if something has walked by because you have to make enough air, and you would know if it was spiritual or
Now, have you tried the gallon jar with the styrofoam peanuts in it?
No.
Put 5 styrofoam peanuts in a gallon jar and sit in the middle of the room and watch. If the energy is true and it's putting off enough energy to manipulate something, most of the time the static electricity will go towards them. Then styrofoam peanuts will cling to the wall and follow them around the side of that jar.
I actually put a theory to test here in the auditorium. I bought one of those little lightning glow balls.
Yep, we use them all the time.
Set it up on the auditorium, and I mean, you could see something would come up and almost run its hand across it, so you'd actually see the fingerprints.
Mm-hmm.
And I love those things. Do you guys use any, have you ever tried to use anything, and I'm like your opinion on, please, there's no rights or wrongs, obviously, there's no such thing as professional in the position, in the job we do, because, I mean,
You're
let's
always
face it, doctors are still practicing. Have you guys ever used any EM pumps?
Yes.
Or-
Yes.
I actually built our teams. So
We'll talk afterwards.
There's a lot of talking
we
afterwards.
use
Trust
we
me.
actually use an EM pump if we need to do a full room in one go, because I actually built 4 motors in one box that are all each individually controlled. And then we also use I think it's a negative energy booster. I'm probably saying that wrong. Jamie, if you're watching,
You apologize.
Comment it and say the correct
comment
thing.
it, but you set it in a corner and it just feeds constant energy. And it's nothing electrical, nothing magnetic. And we actually got really good responses in our library that we do. We set it in a corner and I'm actually snapping photos constantly over my shoulder, and at one point there is a solid black mass that's right behind me. And 5 or 6 shots before that, nothing. 5 or 6 shots after it, there was nothing. And it was right in the area where we actually had the Energizer.
Very nice.
Yeah. See,
Snap out of it.
I'm okay.
Do we have any questions out there? And I know Gordon had been saying some things. Was he wanting any questions answered or anything?
Is anybody seeing anything behind us that we don't like, we shouldn't be here? Maybe a teacher with a ruler gonna smack me in the head like normal?
Somebody's in here.
Oh,
Yeah, Gordon says later can only look at the ceiling for so long.
Something
Are we not on the screen?
Yeah, you're on the screen.
Okay.
What's ceiling is building?
Probably the one above us.
I hope
If
it's
I would
not
have brought my
I hope
powder,
it's
you
not-
would have been able to see it.
I hope it's not the ceiling below us, because that would be cool, actually.
Actually, there's been a lot of things that happened in this room. I remember the last time we were here, it was cold, and I normally do not get touched. I don't allow that piece. I stay away. And we were sitting here, and everybody was
You have a
watching.
boyfriend.
Yeah. And I was like, God, I'm feeling something around me. And everybody was looking, and you could actually see the hat I was wearing was getting lifted off my head. And I was frozen because I didn't have control then. I'm just sitting there going, and everybody was not helping me. They all backed away. All the chairs were going back. They just kind of left me stranded in this room by myself.
We do have a question.
What's the question?
Todd wants to know, where have they all investigated?
We do here, we do a lot of private residences, and we have done
I went to Melbourne. Some of us have gone to Missouri State. Really cool place if you get a chance to go there. We have been talking about doing the Iowa tour next year, in all the places in Iowa.
Sally House is on our bucket list.
Yep. But we primarily do in-homes. This is probably our main attraction place we go to.
And we want to thank you for that, because if you think about it, there is not a lot of teams out there that still help with the residentials.
Most of the people want their 5 minutes of fame. They want to be at the big ones and do the big events.
Most people do the pay it places because, oh my God, I'm going to get that experience, and they're oh so happy if they get touched or they get, a slight manipulation of something happens that they can't
Correct.
explain.
So I asked this of every one of the guests that we have on the show, and be truthful and honest, please. How many times have you done an investigation and not gotten a dang thing?
Lord, what do we like to admit to?
Yeah.
So please, guys, these guys are validating it. We get this asked a lot. You guys go there, you always get something, right? No.
I think you spend 99% of your time in the dark for that 1% of, and then that's it.
Yep.
Even in this very building, for as many times as we've been here, there have been times where we walked out with nothing.
Yep.
And times where we're like, okay, we need to leave. Let's get out of here. Calm down.
We did one private residence multiple times, and multiple times there'd be one time we'd get a buttload of evidence, the next time it would be absolutely dead. The next time it'd be absolutely dead, we'd get a buttload of evidence the next time. So it's a hit and miss. I mean, I will say you're never going to get that experience, but it will come in its own time.
You will never forget it once you get it.
When you go, say for example, the Melbourne, if you go there one time, you get some stuff, but then you go there again, but it feels different, like there's more
changed.
there.
Does that happen to you?
Has
guys
that
when you
ever
guys
happened
do
to
this?
you?
I mean, like here, some nights it's more active, some nights it's little active. Sometimes we can feel there's someone left some baggage here that needs cleared out, so everyone can have fun again.
Yeah.
You got a question, Jay?
We do have a follow-up. So I know you mentioned the Sally House, but where else would you like to investigate that you have not yet?
What's on your number one?
Velisca's on my number one. That's one I haven't done.
I'm iffy about Bliss.
I've
Thank
been there,
you.
done that.
Don't burst his bubble. You
You
guys
guys
all
have
just went,
water for
"Nah."
him? He's dying. There's water back there. Could we get him a water, please?
Oh, no, it's not.
We don't
gonna
need
help.
an extra
We don't-
spirit for tonight. Well, we might.
Missouri State was on the bucket list. We crossed that one off. That was fun. I guess I just want to do them all.
My top one is Sally House. I want to see what's there. I want to go play. I mean, everybody, there's such history around the house. Oh, there's a demon here. Oh, there's this. Oh, there's this. Oh, it is all in your mindset. It's how you go in. If you're going to go in and you're going to go provoke, you're going to try calling this thing out, it's going to come at you as something negative. You go in respectful, they're
It'll
going to
come
be
out
respectful.
negative.
To a degree.
But I've got Sally House. I want to do Waverly Hills at some point, just to say I've done it. I've been there.
Road trip, let's go.
No Pemming
We'll
is
leave
on
it
my
there.
list when they get it back up to par, just because
That
it
one's gonna
is.
surprise you. That will surprise you in a way that you didn't think. Because you go in there at first, and it's almost like you're walking. Every floor feels like a different dimension. It gets really crazy. You do.
I make a suggestion if you go to an opening, remember what stairwell it goes where.
Yes.
Because there's actually there's a few stairwells, they go from the first floor to the third floor. Don't stop at the second floor, and then you go to the third floor and you'll think you're coming back down, you went to the second floor, then you go to another one and you're in the basement. And you can get lost just like that in that building.
You just gave me a headache thinking about that.
But it
Sorry,
does
Mom,
happen.
sorry.
But it is, and it is like walking in different dimensions. It's one of those places when it is up and going. I would suggest people to go. There is a lot of dark there, but the stuff that you get, we did an experiment because we can never get it. We've got like the pyramid that lights up like the EMF detectors. We had those lined up, and you normally can get like a little bleep here, and we lined it up down the hallway, and then we put the pyramid at the end. And I'm like, I just want to give this a shot. And I could see that there was people, but their mentality was more like children. And so I said I would give you some more, I'll give whoever wins this pudding. But you have to run and light up all these lights and make this last one. And we had all these people, and I like putting people with their backs inside the doors, just to get that extra thrill. Again, second time I almost peed myself. Every one of them lit up, and that pyramid was just going off. I thought it was going to explode.
Wow.
And to have something like that happen in one building, it was just one floor. It was amazing. And then the rest of the night just kept rocking on. So
Another place, if they eventually allow it, is I want to go to the Iowa State Penitentiary that they shut down.
yes,
And then Joliet, Illinois has a state prison. And I lived there for a while when the prison was actually up and running. So I know the area. I have friends and stuff that live there. So seeing it from up and running and what it was to now, it kind of makes you sad because they let it almost just go. So
yeah. I can't wait to the Iowa State Pen. I mean, they're not there yet, but that's their goal also, to be able to do I know they were kind of working with some of the other places like Missouri State Pen to kind of get ideas of how to do things. So at least we know something like that's in the works, but it'd be a great place to have, because Iowa has a lot of places.
What about you? Where do you want to go?
Really haven't thought that much about it, but I also haven't been to Melbourne. I haven't been to Edinburgh. But I've been to places these guys have. So
So let's open it up big now. If you had no money problems at all, could go anywhere in the world, where would you like to go?
Stanley Hotel.
Stanley Hotel or Lad's Castle.
I wouldn't want to do Vlad's. I'd go to Countess Pythorium.
Ooh.
That's deep.
Just because of her.
Question is, what is that?
Well, yes, but no. Who in the group gets spooked the easiest?
No.
Honestly, I don't think any of us really get
No,
spooked.
not-
I've
not-
never
Wait,
really
let's
witnessed
let's
anybody
rephrase
get
that.
spooked.
Who screams the loudest?
Nobody screamed. Now,
Let's rephrase that. He does scream.
only when someone's about to shit me, but that's a different story, and we'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about that one off camera.
No, really, all of us go kind of even keeled. I guess that's the word I wanted to use there. None of us have had that freak out moment in an investigation. Usually because we all lean on each other to keep us calm and collective. Sorry.
We're not TV paranormal investigators.
No.
Was that a
What are you
demon?
saying?
Is that a demon?
But if people don't know who Countess Bathoria was, she was a mass murderer that killed a bunch load of virgins and bathed them in the blood. So her castle is on one of the top bucket lists of places to go.
Where is that?
I think it's somewhere. I think it's like England.
Yeah.
I don't know if her
she
castle
was
is
a
still.
serial
Isn't that
killer.
in northern England?
Yeah.
Clear up in the north, kind of hidden.
I don't think her castle's like still
Standing?
standing. Like there's bits and pieces of it, but just feeling the energy from that place would be amazing. I mean, she was normal during the day, murder at night. So a lot of peasant.
They lost count.
Yeah.
Um,
A lot of the peasant women would, when they were 12, 13, 14, be brought in and almost sold to her as her servants.
mhm.
And then she'd kill them and bathe in their blood.
She thought that kept her younger and beautiful. And then she
And-
made the mistake of actually doing it to royalty.
Yep.
And they found her missing, and
Killed her. Locked her in a dungeon.
then they actually, didn't they like bury her alive? Because
Mhm.
they actually bricked it all in so she would never see
Daylight again.
All right, anywhere in the world.
Anywhere in the world? Oh.
You already told you.
No, I kind of kept it in the state.
You get to the States. I want to go world.
Come back to me, I'll think about it.
You were the last one.
You didn't say world, did you? You said
Yeah.
Vlad.
Another one would be Stonehenge too.
Stonehenge. Yep.
Yeah.
Because that kind of intersects both parent interests, ghosts and UFO and.
Rain says hi, Daddy.
Hi, Rain.
Hi, Rain!
Hi, Ray.
Hi.
That's my daughter.
So,
What's up?
Oh, and Catherine says, come to Scotland. Heaps here.
I'm coming, Catherine.
Buy our tickets, we're on our way.
it's a long swim.
I said tickets.
We could take a cruise. Then we can drink the entire time going across. And
I can't.
Dude, the only kind of cruise we can afford is a rowboat.
Where the pirates are going to get.
Titanic 2020 starting soon, sometime, right?
Oh yeah, the new one.
Yeah. Not gonna go on that boat either. So.
No, because we'll probably go one direction and some iceberg will just show up, and not doing it.
We're in the Bahamas and we just hit an iceberg. Yeah. Yes.
Todd wants to know thoughts on Bigfoot and aliens.
Cryptozoology is an
Interesting.
interesting subject. I mean, we were actually at a event prior to this, and one of the guys put it the best. Is Bigfoot an alien? Because there is no solid evidence proof that, he's there. Yeah, there's footprints, but
Different dimensions.
there's nothing else.
Interdimensional being.
Yep. I mean, if spirits exist in different dimensional, realms and stuff, why couldn't it be?
I'm on board with that.
I'd like to go find Bigfoot.
He's supposed to be here in Iowa somewhere.
Yeah.
Wait, we're still waiting on my DNA to come back. So
Chewy's downstairs.
Yeah.
true.
I will.
I will.
I will.
But yeah, no, I'm on board with UFOs. Lucky, everybody.
What's the one thing you guys do not want to investigate?
We'll let you know when we hit it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't found it yet.
Let me know when you hit it. That usually means I just hit another deer.
Please don't say that. We all have drives home.
Yeah, so I have a question for you guys. When you guys do, especially with residentials, you have to look at the history and different things. is that just as much intriguing to you guys as
Yes.
the
Yep,
investigation
Oh,
itself?
I'm
that's
the
an
one
integral
that
part of the investigation.
Yeah.
I always ask for the title abstract. It's the
Yes.
first thing I ask
I
for.
love reading those.
So do you guys, when you guys do that, okay, you're gonna go to a location. I like to kind of split our team and say, okay, part of the team that's going is going to know the history. Part of the team is not going to know, because I want to know what they're gonna pick up. And then we marry them together after the first initial and see what matches.
Being a smaller team, that's a little harder for us to keep a complete blinders on for that. But some of us read more into the history than the others.
Okay.
I don't think there's any one of us who doesn't know a little bit of the history when we walk into the house. It's obviously we know what we've been told.
What we're going to go in against.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
you have to protect yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's gotta be a protection.
And see, we are actually going to be in the process of when I decide to order it off of Amazon. I'm buying blackout blindfold. So I'm going to go in knowing nothing at all. They'll know the full history of everything, and I'm going in straight blindfolded, and I'm going to just be like, okay, this is what I'm picking up on. And if it validates what they know and what the owners know, or like at a location, even better.
We have to do that to you.
And then
Anyway,
just walk into a room with dolls and then walk away.
And then go,
Nice.
take your mask off.
let me ask you this, have you, any of you guys ever been in a location, you know, you hear the owners or even someplace like this, where you think, okay, this is what's there, that's what you're prepared for, and then you walk in and find out it is total opposite of what you even thought it was gonna be?
Yep. I always go in with wards around me just to make sure that I keep stuff away. Especially running an event, you've got to be on that safe side. I mean, there is no, for the people that are mediums or that do have abilities, having that extra wall up is the best.
Like we said, before we came here tonight, we stopped at a psychic fair in Ames.
Shout out to Kelly.
Hi, Kelly.
So,
And we were walking around there, and you could just feel all the energies bouncing off from different psychics, the stones, everything in the room. And it was just, for some people, it can be overwhelming. I know John was having an issue with one of the rooms because there was so much energy.
There's like 8 psychics in one room. And here I am walking through like, oh yeah, I feel you, I feel you, I feel you, I feel you.
Do you ever get, when you do those, we went to something similar to that, I end up getting migraines.
I felt like I was drunk walking
Yes,
through the room.
you get that vertigo feeling, and then I start feeling like a headache coming on, and it's just, it's too
I
much.
have one of those hitting right now from this building. Yeah.
Oh, I thought about because of me, I
So,
was like,
no.
ah.
on that note,
It might be both of you.
Well, yeah, why do you think I put you in the middle? Put them together, we'd have a hole blown through the ceiling. We're running out of time, you guys. You want to plug your sites real quick again?
ministersofthehaunted.com. Facebook is Ministers of the Haunted. YouTube channel is Ministers of the Haunted. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we are here at the Farrar School, and the event starts in 1 hour.
2
3
minutes.
minutes or something.
Oh, we got to get out of here, so we got to get you guys out of here. Thank you very much for being here.
Not
with
a
us.
problem.
Thank you guys
Yeah,
very
thank
much.
you.
Want to thank our whole Facebook family.
He wants to thank the entire Facebook family.
Thank you very much for watching me do fun.
I got you, Dad.
And I'm telling you, in your backpacks, make sure you have a flashlight, a recorder, and your badge powder.
On that note, guys, thank you very much. Join us here next week. We'll be back at our regular site, back out down in the dungeon. Kind of a new look. We want to see who can pick up on the new look of the dungeon. Our guest is
The Rev.
the Rev. Yep, that's all I'm going to tell you. You got to tune in and find out. Guys, thank you very much for
Thank
allowing us to
you.
come here and
Thank
interview
you.
you
Thank
guys.
you.
I know you got a bunch of guests sitting
Yep.
right outside out there. We want to get you guys started.
Hopefully he'll have us back on again.
Hey, anytime.
Yes.
So, thank you guys very much for being with us. Again, big shout out to all the military people out there. Thank you guys very much for what you guys do each day. Thank you to the first responders and the firefighters out there.
Yes.
Please be safe. Come home to your families, everyone. Thank you to our sponsor, McIntyre Villa. Look them up. They're in Atchison, Kansas. We have a couple events coming up here next month at Atchison. You can look us up on Riverside, Iowa Paranormal. .org.com. You just type in Riverside, Iowa Paranormal. It'll come up. I promise you. Thank you guys very much for being here. We'll see you later. And on that note, we'll see you in the dark.